Hey guys, I'm going to be showing you how I made a DIY adapter for a Kensington lock for an ultrabook. So if you're not familiar with what one of these are, there's quite a few different variations of it, but essentially it's a steel cable with a lock. You can get either a combination one like I have here, or you can get a keyed one. And this little lock gives you a small little oval end, and on laptops that are equipped to accept it, you will have a little rectangular opening. Usually it'll have either a lock symbol or a K next to it to indicate that it's a Kensington Lock Slot. There's a couple alternative versions too from other companies. Dell recently started using Noble locks instead of Kensington locks, but Kensington is one of the big names in it. And the way it works, sorry I don't have a tripod to make this easier. The way it works is you insert your lock and it locks in there, randomize the code, and the purpose of this is you would run this cable around a desk or a chair and kind of loop it back through itself before locking it to the laptop. And then you would get your laptop secured to a desk so that, if you're, at school or at a conference or something, and you look away or walk away for a minute to use the restroom, your laptop can't easily be grabbed and stolen. It's not really meant, sorry, let me unscramble these so I can take it out. It's not really meant to, stop all theft. It's, if somebody's determined and can, have a few minutes with the laptop and they don't mind breaking part of it, they will be able to break this off. It's not, super theft resistant. It's kind of meant just to stop grab and go kind of theft or opportunistic theft. But what happened is, this is my old laptop and I bought a new one, an ultrabook. And ultrabooks don't have a lock slot on most of them because they're too small and they just don't make space for it. So my old Asus laptop, this is what is this? This is a VivoBook X202E with a Core i3 processor and a touchscreen. This originally had Windows 8 actually, but I cracked the screen on it, which I've since replaced. But in the meantime, I thought I'd upgrade because this one's, 6 or 7 years old now. And so I got a new one. And this is the Lenovo Yoga 720 13-inch. But it doesn't have a lock slot. And so I made one, which looks like this. Now, it's not super pretty, but it works. And I'm going to explain to you how I made it. Griffin Technologies used to make something kind of similar to this concept, so this idea is not totally unique to me, but I'm going to show you what I did. Basically, what you do is you insert this. I'm going to try to show you how this works. Insert this. Oof, this is really hard to do without a tripod or something. Through the hinge. Oof. There. So it rests right through the hinge, comes out the back, and you can raise your monitor back up, and that kind of sticks out the back like a little tail. And then your lock, you can put into the hole here. This is hard to do with one hand. There. And then that is locked to the laptop. So now they can't get this out without breaking the laptop. So it's, again, not going to be ridiculously theft proof, but it's going to stop grab and go thieves or opportunistic thieves the same way the built-in lock slot does on most other laptops. So the way I made this, Griffin Technologies makes, or used to make rather, something similar to this, which was the inspiration. I'm going to take this out of the hinge real quick here so that So Kensington does make adapters that you can buy from them officially. They're kind of a stick-on type thing, so it's a comes with like a little pad. Basically, it's like a 3-inch by 3-inch pad that's raised a little bit in metal, and it comes with like some super industrial adhesive, and you stick it onto the back of your monitor, and then you can attach the lock to the end of that, and it would kind of stick out the back like that. The problem is, which would be a fine solution, except this laptop can convert into a tablet. And if I have a big metal pad on the back of it, well then obviously I can't do that. So, Griffin Technology actually made something similar to this a while back, but they stopped making them a couple years ago, and I couldn't find anything online for it where I could get one that wasn't, you know, old and beat up. So, I made one. So what I got, this is actually, so there's a piece, this is stainless steel, and this actually started out life as, I got it at the hardware store as a, you can kind of tell by this other end, it was a stainless steel hose clamp. So that's what I decided to use as my base. So I think this was only $2.99 to get the hose clamp at the hardware store, and it's plenty big enough. You can see here I could make a second one with it if I wanted to. I just discarded the section that has all the I don't know if there's a name for this, but all the grooves that the screw threads would grab into to tighten the clamp. That whole section's basically useless, just because it's less theft resistant. So what I did is I took the hose clamp section and I filed out, drilled a small hole, and then used a file to file out the exact size hole that you need for this. You can actually go onto Kensington's website and get the official dimensions, but it's actually just the part that matters is fitting this upper section through, and it's 3 millimeters by 7 millimeters. It's a standard 3 millimeters by 7 millimeters, and the corners are rounded over with a 1 millimeter radius. So it's just a small little oval that you need to file out, and you want it to be pretty accurate. You don't want it to have lots of extra space, and you also need to have it be thick enough. I tried making this out of I actually like prototyped with a cut up vegetable can, like can of green beans, after that I straightened out and filed the hole through, and it worked fine, but the metal was so thin that you could kind of twist it out without needing to have the combination because it was too thin. But this seems to work pretty good. I'm not sure what the thickness of this metal would be, but to give you a frame of reference, it's just about equal to a credit card or debit card plastic once I've taped it. So you file out the hole, and then on the other end I actually used a wooden dowel to make it easier to form, but then I took the steel and I wrapped it completely around the dowel all the way in a complete circle, and then kind of gave it this bend so it lines up with the hinge on my particular laptop. And then I just covered it with a piece of duct tape just to help it resist scratching up anything when I'm putting it on and off. And that's it. And then it's hard to tell through the duct tape, but I've actually filed out like a perfect little oval that fits the lock. And so this, if you've got clearance for this through your laptop hinge, you can drop this in through there. For mine, to try to show you, it actually works better on mine if I flatten it out. Oh, this is so hard to do without hands. I need more hands. So you feed it through, and then I can raise my laptop, and then that sticks out the back. It's not blocking anything important. That sticks out the back, and I can attach it there. Now, again, for any of you who think this should be like a theft-proof device. It's not meant to be theft-proof and left unattended for long periods of time. It's just meant to stop opportunistic grab-and-go stuff. So you're in a public place, a coffee shop or school or a conference or something, you need to go to the restroom or something, and you just want to know that no one's gonna, you know, nonchalantly sneak off with your laptop, you know, in a room full of strangers. This is going to be completely sufficient because the steel on this is very, very hard to break. I don't know if any of you, it's malleable a bit, you know, it's got give, it's kind of springy, and you can bend it a bit with a bit of force, but it doesn't break very easily. You can see here, I was testing and I took 2 pairs of pliers and I bent this back and forth until it snapped, and it took me several minutes with a lot of strength and 2 pairs of pliers. Very, like, you couldn't sneakily do it, and you're not going to be able to yank this through this hinge without destroying the screen and a good portion of the laptop. So if you've just got, you know, you don't have national secrets, you've just got your regular personal laptop and you want to keep it, you know, somewhat secure, then this works perfect. So it's a little DIY adapter for ultrabooks. As long as you've got a hinge you can pass it through without damaging anything, then this will work. The clamp was $2.99 at my local hardware store, and I went and bought a very thin little called a needle file, which is just a metal file for you know, small work. Some places when I looked online called it like a jeweler's file. It's just a really, really tiny file, basically, really, really narrow, and that was like $2 as well. So I've got my DIY adapter for just a couple bucks, and it doesn't interrupt the ability for this to be converted into a tablet, and it's not permanent. So the only thing you do want to make sure you don't do is, while it's in the hinge, don't close the laptop on it. That would crack your screen, which, you know, is a problem with the Griffin product as well. I've saw people complain that they accidentally did that. So this is basically a do-it-yourself version of what Griffin was selling for 20 or 30 bucks, and it only cost a couple dollars and maybe half an hour to make. Drill a small pilot hole that's under 3 millimeters. I think I used a 1/16 bit, and then just take your time with the file and build it out to the size you need. Make sure it's got a fat end that's not going to fit through the hinge, and then I coated it with a layer of duct tape just so that it's not going to be so scratchy. It's kind of rubbery feeling instead. And that's it. I hope this is helpful to someone, because it's going to give me more peace of mind. Bye.